You just want to shut me too much. You just want to step on the banana. You is a trip, bro. Hold on. I'm trying to get this right. Not put too much. Yeah. That's good. There we go. It's hot. Let's see. Woo! Oh, that's a strong one. Oh, yeah. That's a lot of ginger. Ooh. Smoke again. This dude ain't come yet. What's up, Papa? You can have it. That will, like tobacco and chocolate, kill you in a heartbeat. All right, seriously. You can have that. You know how much I love you. I know you want it, but you can't have it.
The U.S. as a nation is pushing westward. They're trying to ensure safe passage for settlers, fortune seekers,
Is that what it is?
gold seekers,
And
and
leave that alone.
standing in the way from the European perspective are the Native Americans, led by, in this case, Sitting Bull. Now, one of Custer's fatal mistakes that day was he underestimated the size of the enemy that he faced. He thought there were only about 800, turns out there were about 2,000. The other fatal mistake that he made was to divide up his band into 3 groups. He was trying to surprise them. And the people who got surprised that day were Custer and his men, who in their famous last stand, all lost their lives on the hill that day. So this was a victory for the Native Americans. 14 years later, 14 and a half years later, on December 29th, 1890, the close of the 1800s, a fight broke out near Wounded Knee Creek, again between U.S. Army soldiers and Native Americans.
Ginger's real strong.
In this case, though, it was a massacre, and several hundred Lakota Sioux tribes people were dead at the end of it, buried in the mass grave, and that effectively closed the chapter that was the Native American resistance to European incursions westward. Now, if you're like me, you've grown up being taught that Native Americans had been here in the Americas for thousands of years. They were primitive, so to speak, in their technology and their ways of life, but it was a very peaceful, nature-loving, nature-respecting existence, and along came the Europeans with their guns of multiple sizes and shapes, who wiped them out in short order because the Native Americans had no such technology.
Distinguished self. He is distinguished. You hear me? He is distinguished. Yes, he is.
Now, I've discovered in the last few years, from mainstream archaeology of all sources, that this view of the Americas is being overturned.
Okay.
So who are these people?
All right. What I'm listening to here, some of y'all might find it controversial because it's steeped on bibliography, Genesis. Answers in Genesis. This is archaeologists discovered who the original Americans were, not as if they didn't know. And yes, y'all, when they first started off talking about Europe, it says all the Palestinians originally come from melanated black people, black white people. Remember, one of a kind. I was Facebook, for those of you who know me on Facebook or Instagram, y'all know. And then for those of you who are coming watching, not saying nothing in the audience from 07, 042 and 02, 02, New York, you know that I've been saying for a long time, I knew Palestinian brothers in the military who showed me their birth certificate and it said Negro or black. It said Negro or black on it. I'm talking about brunette was always a skin color, but brunette hair, blonde hair, green and blue eyes. Yes, birth certificate, black or Negro, not white. Now, I know a lot of pale skins who are arrogant because you know what? They won't even admit. I've only met a handful who admitted being orphans on this soil, serving in the military, Marine Corps, Army, Air Force, and other ones who said that their parents were orphans. And then some that said that they knew their great-great-grandparents were orphans. And it happens to be quite a many. The rest live on in this false premises or ideology of a false privilege. And they don't even know the truth. And then ones who do know the truth won't even acclimate to the reality of it, because then it means they gotta, they gotta suck the sausage. And I don't mean, I mean literally, sausage. Uncooked, unseasoned, just something bland. It tastes like crap. You dig what I'm saying? They got to eat the crap, okay? I'm not into feelings and emotions bound to that. I've been having a conversation with a person I really love having a conversation with while I was on the res, and for a little bit before that, hard to find at that time because we both were mitigating different terms of reality and dealing with situations. And it was my first true love, and her name is Lana, and she's a wonderful, beautiful sister. Last name's unimportant. It was McConnell. Grew up with her. Used to see her in Dodgetown, this, that, and other, in East Orange. She pretty much lived almost everywhere I did, so other than New York. You know me, Brooklyn, Queens, well, Brooklyn and Bronx, really. And it's good to have that. But it's another thing to actually know some other different truths. Now, I know some people are having some issues, some of you new frolickers, with the thing Tartaria. All right, look. How many of y'all looked at the word avatar? I'm going to do this because somebody asked me about it. I guess maybe they seen a post or something. I says, no. I stated that before the movie Avatar came out. I says, y'all know what that means, right? And I'm going to pull it up so that way you can see it. It has nothing to do, the movie, let me see. Look, remember I told you everything is upside down, inverted, backwards, and reverse? And the enemy is going to play every field to keep deception up. Well, who would do that? Why is it that the people who spit on, detest the word God are imperatively, but they believe in different deities, different gods outside themselves, but they carry themselves in a prolific way to illuminate themselves as if they are a god? Okay. I'm only asking because a lot of people don't have a clue. Oh, God, you're sky daddy, blah, blah, blah. Well, in our ancestral stories, there is a supreme something. You want to say being sentient is simple. That illuminates to a frequency, a vibe, or everything. Who is to dismiss that we spoke ourselves into reality long ago? Or that something greater than we're in a fishbowl, a mini fishbowl. It can be looked at in so many ways. The problem is nobody has one ticket to that one place. You see what I'm saying? The Lenape, the Red River or Red Road, whatever. For the individual that wrote that, I detest when any pale skin writes any history and a melanated person runs with it. I really do. That's based on oral traditions. They said it was a hoax, blah, blah, blah. Many years ago when I was living in New York, I used to visit, I knew a few of them. And I was surprised when they even antiquated that. I was like, I'm not going to dismiss the story as far as how they lay it. I couldn't do that. But the truth of it, I don't care what truth you run with. That's like the idiots who I know in the Yamasee Nation that forget the Yama Nation was many different vectors. Seminoles were part of the Yama Nation. The Anawea, the Cherokees, you want to call them that. The Choctaw, long before they broke off. You know what I'm saying? The Muscopani. All these, the real ones. Y'all I know some of you in that Yama Nation, y'all running with your little, everybody's melon black and da-da-da, listening to goofies who are Google masters with the new oral traditions that have nothing to do with real history. People like power plays that have nothing to do with unity, unification. That's not who our people were. All of Earth was united before whatever this cataclysmic catastrophe that happened. And it didn't happen one small little boom. It happened in a major way. A crescendo, like from here to there. A crescendo, yes, from here to there. Where the last one was the major one. We're talking about land masses, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles. Grand cities, unbelievable to these ones today ain't nothing to do with, sunk under thousands of feet or miles of water. And that's right. Oh, this is known by the idiots. And we fought something. Avatar, Avatar. avatars. So it's going to be av space space tar, baby. No, tar. Hinduism, a manifestation of a deity. You got to remember, I told you all to think of theosophical or theosophical society, theology, and all those different words, right? I know you did. Again, Hinduism, a manifestation of a deity or a released soul in bodily form on earth, an incarnate divine teacher, an icon or figure representing a particular person in a video games, internet forum, etc. Conversation is depicted in a balloon over the avatar's head. Avatar is also what when you're using your computer. Something that directs, informs, you place it, you mitigate something, and it keeps you, and you keep up to date where it's at as far as what you've last looked at. You get what I'm saying. Avatar comes from the Sanskrit word avatara, meaning descent. Within Hinduism, it means a manifestation of a deity in a bodily form on earth, such as a divine teacher. For those of us who don't practice Hinduism, it technically means an incarnation, embodiment, or manifestation of a person or idea. Okay? Computer, small picture that represents a computer user in a game, internet and all the other stuff. As far as a person, is a Sanskrit word meaning a descent. In general, it can refer to a new, unexpected, or revolutionary person or event. Specifically, it has been used to refer to the appearance of a deity on earth, whether in human form or as an apparition. Then we go back to the three that y'all believe. People believe 3 CERNs were built, and there's 8. And y'all won't even look into that. So somebody asked me, what is that? Well, I says, well, I remember years ago, let me see if I can pull it. I'm looking on Google. I would use DuckDuckGo, no need. Let me see if I can put in some keywords, man. Who painted. Okay, I put in man who painted Satan after asking and denying God. Let's see if that works. I don't know, y'all. I'm just pulling it up. I don't know. Who was Lucifer in the Bible? Well, we already been through that Boboveth and all that stuff, and Yahweh and all these idiots still talking about some. Had somebody comment on Instagram, Yasharala and all. I was like, shut the. Hey, I just don't have the time for them. Schemes of devil. The devil depicted in the temptation of Christ. No, what happened to Judas? Nope. Ibis and God, the nature of evil, Islamic tradition, spiritual warfare, Luke 22. That is not what I asked. How to read it. Maybe I'm not using the proper statements. Lucifer Morningstar. Anyway, guess what, man who painted Satan after asking and denying God. Let me see if we pull up a video. Satan always asks permission. 7 ways God reigns over hell. You're like, we're not going to get to the list. We're not going to do all that. I don't see nothing. Maybe I'm using the most improper. If anybody knows about it, you can put it in chat and everybody can look it up. Me, I can find it. I know I can. Curses. Oh, let's see if this works. No, that's not proper. Dude, you better come back. What was it? Satan's part in God's perfect plan, mere Christianity, cursed by God, schemes of the devil, Satan Smith, job, or sore boils. The biblical book of Job expresses the existence of evil as offering, suffering in a world where loving, all-powerful God exists. It has been described as an instigation of satanic influence upon physically, emotionally, and spiritually disturbed Christians 10 influence in America is that the moment you realize the voice you hear isn't God. Yeah, right. How demons gain access to you. Try. No, you know what? How the serpent in the garden, who is it? Wow, this voice, y'all got that worshiping gene in y'all. No wonder they got all this goofy shit up here. It's not denying the jinn, the darkness. I don't know why it's not here. There was an individual who painted. Let me see if I can put this in. It's a lot. I don't think this will work. Hmm. I'm going to have to look that up later and hold it for another time because anyway, I'm going to have to go to the duck, bro. I'm not going to look it up right now. I want to show you a picture of his painting. Is that it? Is that? Center. Is that? What enough? Ooh, they got some goofy stuff, man. No, that can't be right. Anywho, I'm just gonna pull that one up again. If y'all watch the movie Lucifer, there's a thing in it, and it looks like something out of Avatar. And there's a gentleman who cursed God in real life, asked Satan to help him paint him so he could have something to worship. And it guided, and he was an artist, it guided his hands, and he painted an avatar. Somebody expressed that to me, and so I looked it up. I looked it up on my computer. I'm looking up on here, and obviously I'm talking about, I guess maybe they don't want the bag out the hat. I don't know, or the hat, yeah, whatever the term is. Anyway, Avatar. Now, the disturbing thing about the movie is the tree of life, the giant tree with the souls all around. The fact that we're cut off from them when we don't know it. The women, how they used to put rocks in their mouths, cut their tongues out, put masks over them, because in Haiti and here in America, because especially in the Virginias, the women could speak and say things, and they would bite their tongue and draw blood, and they would kiss the red dirt and throw it in the air, and people lose their teeth, hair falling out, they dying like suddenly. This is real stuff. The fact is, they were all Negroes. There was not one mongrel or Mongol. They have a hard time dealing with the fact that, and it's not my fault. I didn't create it. Go to your scientists and all them, your little wicked ass scientists. You know, you have degenerative, or you have what you call genes. It's not my fault. Something happened. And there are pale skins who are recognized to be Caucasians, which has nothing to do with being pale. It has everything to do with Caucasians was a very dark Negro race from somewhere not that far from Prussia. Russia's a made-up word, a new term, just like England and Germany. All that's made up. Y'all got to have something to fit in, and you run with it because that's been the manipulation of the grounds of all these dual cult top coming from David Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, and all them idiots, and everybody that's subjugated to them. And then y'all want to have the nerve. That's why I'll be saying, I hope mom want to get up behind me and get all fidgety and want to pull a trigger or something like that. I'll be like, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens to you and anybody like you after that. Especially when I come back. I don't care who believes or don't. It matters me not. Y'all believe in enough garbage. I was looking at somebody talking about the 2A, and this person's not even big. This guy's got 245,000 views. And I said, well, I just added to that, huh? I didn't watch the whole thing. I just clicked on it. I said, well, that is a view, even though it's not the duration. talking about nothing. You people are just stuck in nothing. Let me go ahead and do some reading. That was ginger, lemon, turmeric shot. Well, it was more than that. It was more like a tea. You've got to be careful when you're intermittent fasting, especially if you're eating 1 meal a day and you're kind of big. Your blood pressure can get a little irregular. And mine's, though it's maternal. Yes, y'all, maternal. I maternally deal with that. Paternal, you know, for you people that's into them pronouns and stuff, excuse me. But I can feel it. And also you got to remember, I've been on a very, very heavy diet of heavy metals. That pill is heavy enough. That's part of a diet. It's something you put in. My body's attempting or doing its best to regulate a different manifestation, reconnect and resync to the way it's supposed to be. And it's an ongoing battle, y'all. No, I haven't taken the crap. I mean, I could chew aspirins all day and get Ray's syndrome. Do I want that? Heck no. I don't want to put something in there knowing that I could probably correct it, but have to go through it all. No way, buddy. So let's go ahead. Enoch received for letter. All right, we're going to get a Terra Infinita, and then we're going to go to Heaven Barrels and Exposing the Expedition. And then later on, I'll get Flat Atlantis. We pretty much finished up, remember? If you want to hear from Flat Atlantis, it's not my fault. And I want to go ahead and get the Book of Giants along with Enoch, and then tap into Arthur Kessler, the 13th Tribe. I think that'll be very good for some of you to read that don't know no better in it, okay? Yes, Terra Infinita, extraterrestrial worlds and their civilizations is the story told by the woman who was born in the lands behind the ice walls. You remember TRU, right? Okay. I'm glad that y'all are following me. I appreciate that so much. I truly do. Now, we're on chapter 7, and that's the land of Mars. Land of Mars. And we're going to look at Eridiana area, the human colony, which we libated on the last time we were talking in the last chapter, and the ice wall there, because you got to remember why it's the human colony there, which they believe, actually, I saw another video, and I saw a book. Somebody shared it with me. You know, it's a good thing when you talk, people, I say, you always share stuff when you find something. They believe that Admiral Byrd is still there, alive, and that he's returned. They said there's a picture going around showing Admiral Byrd shaking hands with certain politicians at the G8 are out. He was caught looking out the door at a G8 summit to see, even though he had always seen it. He's always been up to date with everything going here. I mean, they was trying to figure out, well, if people are writing certain things, you got to remember, now when you write something, you got to be very careful with playground you play in. And the information, you must keep it. I'm not saying this is facts. I've been writing lately, a lot lately, right? Let me tell you something. You have to make a correlation to correction to know exactly what you're putting in. Even though it's a screenwrite, you got to be careful. I'm not doing it out of fear, so I'm just saying there's things or whatever out there, people out there that will play with things, okay? And they will manipulate and cause people to go against, because that's the job, to keep people divided, fighting, all separated. You see, you're going to have people come in here and leave, and those are nothing, maybe bots, maybe just plain, look, idiots. Every time I see Texas, a friend of mine's in Austin, he says, yo, man, when they had that thing, I went down there, but I was on the sideline, you know, and then you had the whole gays was armed up. I was like, not all of them are gay. And then some of them foreigners. Then you had the other guys in the Texans. Well, that's because Californians moved over there, and Oregon and Seattle, Washington. They all went over there, and they think they're going to be Billy Butt, but they're in the wrong place. So see, people getting their butt over there in Texas right now. Anybody from Texas know what I'm talking about? Them little hootie fries, after doing that with them children down there, that's the worst place to be playing at. Even politics shouldn't be playing at, regardless of that damn Cruz and all them other idiot politicians down there. Nobody gives a damn about these frauds. And people are learning and seeing it more and more and more. The problem is the problem is going to exist. So I don't have to. I'm not here to bring dark and all that gloom over people who wants to elevate themselves. Because I'll need your mind plagued with another aspiration or something that has nothing to do with anything. So I'm not going to speak on that. But I'm going to say this: my grandmother worked at Mountain View and a few other places. She retired at 82 years old as a nurse. Worked many psych wards. I went to some of the parties. Anyway. I'm built different, y'all. You know, they call us X generation for a reason. Anyway, Reagan, well, he opened the powder keg. And a lot of these individuals have had chemical lobotomies applied to them very viciously and eating all this garbage out here. And you can see that. The problem is the ones you want to believe are saying with the guns, right? They're living a lie too, and they're not as sane as they believe they are. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't have a firearm. What I'm saying, yeah, I believe that's everybody's right. F the AFT and the NFT and the AFA, well, all that goofy stuff that has nothing to do with us, once you know. But anyway, them, you can see it. You can see the sick on the street walking around, and you would be comfortable and not in your wrong to say they look normal. You'd be very right. The issue at hand is there's nothing normal about them. So they come here and they look as well. I remember when our people started committing suicide. I was like, what in the fuck is going on? Then I started paying attention to 4 new fast food chains that popped up out of nowhere. Then I remember when the homosexual thing became a thing and how many children, when all this ghetto rap, gangster rap came out, were going to prison. And how lifers had their way with a lot of them listening to their stories. See, are you able to put together a timeline? It's very important for you to do these things. It's just like when I read. I've got to use different books to ascertain a certain partial of information when a lot of it could be just fiction. Depending on what you say. When I know some of y'all think, but then he didn't want to say it's all I got. Yes, me and my buddy. I actually chatted with him not too long ago. Eyes closed like that, so quick. Well, we look, he's a boxer, I'm a pugilist too. We look at people's eyes, you can see everything. When a person moves, they tell from the shoulders or their feet or their hip. So when you look in a person's eyes, you can see those. And if you're training pugilism, you see those moves. So you can counter. That's why people don't get. That's why I detest when my brothers be looking down, and if they look at each other, it's with no admiration but hate. And then they draw down, and a lot of times you don't hear it. The one drawing down means harm is the one that get harm dealt to. So it's saying all that. We live in a world of sickness. My apologies for taking the entertainment away for a moment. But it had to be done. There's a purpose and a reason why I do everything. I'm not here to look for no slaps in the back. Gratuity's fine, but I'm not here for none of that. I do this because I'm supposed to. Big difference. From those who want to do it, who believe they're supposed to do it. No, I do it because I'm supposed to. I don't give 2 craps. I said I was going to shut it down. I do it because I'm supposed to. All right, let's get into this. Lands of Mars. Who inhabits or inhabited these lands that lie behind the walls of ice and the mountain walls? There lies this great world crossing the second dome and traveling lands that few humans have ever seen. Mars has great, listen to this, has great incidence in the known lands, since in those lands several events related to humanity happened and still happen today. This immense circle environment and misnamed red planet, pay attention, harbored a great and diverse life within its dome. This native Martian civilization was reportedly totally annihilated by the colonizers. So why wasn't part of it left for possible further development, or even for some kind of manipulation by the colonizers themselves? Apparently, this race was firm in their convictions based on their morals and ethics, preferring to die and extinguish their race in battle rather than beg for freedoms and quotas under conditions that colonization would impose. The Anunnaki, at the end of their mission, realized that not a single yeah, I'm not accepting. Oh, we'll see. I might. Okay. A single Martian was left standing. Mission realized that not a single Martian was left standing. Since the last ones even committed suicide, we read that 2 chapters prior. All right. They were surprised since they did not expect this to happen. In fact, it was their first colonization, and after this, they took precautions. The original Martian race was known in later studies. Was known in later studies, was an advanced race in its technology that prioritized the spiritual growth and welfare of the community. And here are people running around so spiritualist, and you're so powerful. They had little military training and technology, and some of you got some military training, and you know a little bit about the technology they allow. So their defense was almost nil. It means no, nothing, moot. The custodians soon took the great lands and grouped in the great centers, taking advantage of all the knowledge and progress that was left there. Remember, it sounds like the Borg. Nowadays, the lands of Mars are simply, I'm just illuminating Star Trek because there's nothing new under the sun. The problem is most people can't see it. The way it's been played out all over the field. All right. Now, and progress that was left there. Nowadays, the lands of Mars are simply experimental lands where several races coexist and generate wars between them, and different reasons for almost eternal conflicts. See, that's some things going on, y'all, that's beyond the scope of what we've seen here. It's happened, though. The leaders of these lands are both Anunnaki and custodians. There is a community of humans, mostly made up of people who belong to small groups and earn their passage only by their hard work in betraying their own race in their homelands. The best known member, who might even be living in the human colony of the last humans, in parentheses, I am referring to the last reset, end of parentheses, would be the well-known explorer Rear Admiral Richard Byrd, who knew how often to be on the other side for a long time and to confess some truths before giving himself up completely. Some of the many stories that we have out there and that are written today to keep the truth away from the terra infinita and the civilizations that live behind the ice barriers and the domes that separate them. In the lands of Mars also coexist the famous Greys, and some minor draconian colony are also known as Etamines. Draconian lizard people. Between the Greys and the human colony, there is a rivalry existing since almost the beginning of the transportation of the custodians to the humans there. The custodians and Anunnaki monitor everything very well and do not miss any detail of them. What had begun in the clone lands today takes place in these lands. Possibly this transfer is due to the time difference that exists in the environment. The clone lands. We didn't clone, y'all. Did y'all notice that when they during Tartaria, they were building these centers for cloning, literally labeled so? Their time as in many other circle environments or lands within different domes is different from the lands of Mars. For this reason, the passage to Mars of humans is always welcome, despite the dangers involved, since it is a one-way ticket to a long life of almost 500 years in comparison. There are also other races, almost all moved by the custodians in their frantic conquest of their 178 circles or worlds. And many other races originating from different sectors were also moved there. The lands of Mars are considered as a large zoo, where different behaviors, confrontations, and conflict resolution are studied. A huge farm of exhaustive monitoring and analysis of races. Are you aware that before the pale skin started going to these different lands, the hybrids, I don't like using that word, genetically, yes, they had to always put these zoos up to show. Why would you have to, if you lived here thousands of millennia, Why would you have to establish a zoo on an earth that was always occupied, that once was one? Have any of y'all ever thought about that? No, of course not. Like I said, I haven't even scratched 10% of the knowledge to share because I know what people would do. They'll run with it. I'm glad they're finding stuff, but a lot of y'all ain't prepared for it. Like I stated, trust me. I'm going to read chapter 8. The lands of Neptune. Lands of Neptune, Triton, Nerida, and Poseidon. Nerida, Triton, and Poseidon, the name of the lands that shine in the dark atmosphere that surrounds their circle environment. The Neptunians have had a hard time since their birth, not because they have not been able to adapt to their environment and survive in a climate where vegetation is not abundant, but because of the sandstorms and the aridness, all right? The aridness, man, every time I go out to the res, right? Encloses this world can be really devastating. For that reason, most of the big cities were created on the shores of their most fertile lands, leaving a large portion uninhabited. My brother Westside put a video up, and I've stated this. That was a beautiful thing to say. It always says, 80% of the population from Nebraska over to the East Coast, and the rest of it's over this way. And the majority of it's California, and then little spots here and there, down to like a little over 10 million. Oh, yeah, y'all. And yet y'all stay on the damn show. Y'all are friggin' in Auschwitz. You don't even know it because you become so comfortable. Remember, I always make the statement about the pot, the big cauldron. The water's nice and cool, the lily pads, and you're just popping around and relaxing, ribbit. And there's a couple of idiots down there stoking some big timbers of wood. And it gets a little warm, huh? A little spring action. Then the summer, and then you get the heat wave, and before you know it, your frog legs up. And that's all. All them liberal cities, and I'm just gonna move from Chicago down to Georgia. I'm going from Florida up to New York, New Rochelle. Like that's like the longest maze, and y'all don't even know how to come out of it. Same thing with California. Only ones that came over here was the idiots, the ones who flew over the cuckoo nest, believing they're going to change the demography and make a red state blue. Y'all gonna get dead, man. I'm saying that to make you aware. It is what it is. Trust me. It's sad. I don't advocate for none of that. I detest violence in its totality. Anyway, let's go on with the reading. Cities were created on the shores of their most fertile lands, leaving a large portion uninhabited. That's the way to do it. Anyway, the Neptunians managed quite well to carry out colossal creations. There are buildings so tall that exceed twice the size of the known lands. Silence is the faithful companion that will go with you wherever you go in this dark world, as its sun is also very different from those of the vast majority and is totally opaque. Throughout the time and with the great technological development that they knew how to carry out, nothing of the climate nor of the darkness was a great obstacle for them. I got vegan rolls, I gotta have one. Spring rolls. They're so good. And they're steamed. Oh yeah, cabbage. I love the cabbage. Oh, I'm hungry. Anyway. Yes, time to eat. Okay. Cities with very high constructions, look, throughout the time and with the great technological development that they knew how to carry out, nothing of the climate nor of the darkness was a great obstacle for them. There are also large cities with very high constructions, many pyramids, because of that, since the Anunnaki were the ones who entered this world and took over the environment after a long time. Recall that the pyramids are key to the Anunnaki's colonization. And that's what we first started destroying. Yep, it's a fact. Why do you think they've been building different ones all over the place? All right. The first starts with friendly and supposed technology exchanges between beings. The Anunnaki can be really great swindlers and lie to their leaders to generate a close bond, and then stick the cold dagger in the back. Don't we see that now? Overnight, the Neptunians were left with nothing, as the Anunnaki have planned everything from the beginning, and everything went as expected. You know why 5G is put out there? Because a lot of y'all don't mitigate your true power. Search your frequency, do positive affirmations, meditate. The 5G is a blocker. You know what that is? You know how to read a blueprint? You get that little, you got the switch over here. You got positive, negative over here. And you got the power sources where they connect and switch. Well, that like a circuit breaker. Pop, too much. 5G is a mitigator. You start getting the proper frequency, it disrupts. Your thought patterns go off. You're not sure. You're feeling uncomfortable. All of a sudden, all that motion and feeling comes to hit you back. And you're back in that broke frequency that they've mitigated. That's all I'm going to see right there. It is said that this is one of the first lands where they penetrated and ended up colonizing. Okay? See, okay, overnight the Neptunians were left with nothing, as the Anunnaki had planned everything from the beginning, and everything went as expected. It is said that this is one of the first lands where they penetrated and ended up colonizing. So we believe in alien invasion. Well, the thing is now to make you believe that aliens aren't real, they created the space force. So if you see some weird stuff, you'll think, at one time you thought they were aliens, now you'll think they're people. In my IMO. The natives of these lands could not cope with any technology like that, although we can assure that it was still in full development. But by that time, the Neptunians had opened a long spiritual and developmental path focused on real personal and spiritual improvement to cross the Great Dome after transiting matter. But it is not that they left the defense to chance, but they had developed a great military power that did not end up serving against the colonizers, although they did get a big scare when they rebelled. In the beginning, the Neptunians accepted defeat, but as these beings were used for certain tasks within their own lands that obviously ended up directly benefiting the Anunnaki bosses, they rebelled against them, generating several pockets of fierce fighting. Then the casualties on both sides began, and everything got out of control in the center of these lands. Triton, okay, I'm just saying Triton because anyway, became the epicenter of absolute chaos. The blue blood of the natives was spilled in great quantity, and Anunnaki are still today their great enemies. And that after years, they reached an agreement to withdraw from their lands. Today, the Neptunians live in peace and with a high development in technology that benefits their environment, their spiritual growth, and they are in peace with the neighboring lands and races. So that's the Neptunians, okay? Right there. Custodians don't fuck with them. Anyway, do you know now? Do you see why they don't want you developing this, that, and that, and other? And we show them all of our things. Anywho, excuse me. Anyway, today the Neptunians live in peace and with a high development in technology that benefits their environment, the spiritual growth of the world, and they are in peace with the neighboring lands and races. But according to the story, they prepare in silence for any new attack that could come from the nearby Anunnaki lands or other lands that could generate some danger for them. Do the Neptunians travel to other lands? It is said that they have traveled to other lands to investigate how other races live, to generate certain links, and to be able to explore their environment. But it is said that they have not visited the known lands or spoken to any leaders at any time. Although they do know the lands of Mars and have been able to make contact with the human custodial colony located there. As I commented in previous paragraphs, the Neptunians are a race of dark blue color. They feed on local fruits since based on their system, they cannot ingest a great variety of foods. They do not eat meat, and they have a certain friendly relationship with the custodians. Although it is not well known why, since they are generally beings that always sought their freedom and independence. So tomorrow we will read again. I might come on later. I might. And we'll be getting into chapter 9, the lands of Uranus. Oh, here comes the goodie. Here comes the Heaven Bearers. Oh, y'all know that this is by Claudio Nicoli. Claudio, yeah, Nocellius. That's the name. My problem. My apologies. The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood. Janine Helen. All right. Okay, we got onto the bodies intertwined and all that in front of the big fire. Okay, I am an abomination. She never wanted me. She was forced to have me, Bonnie. He kisses her shoulder and she asks him to feel his warm and tender breath all over her neck. Just like you are forced to have my abominations, he carries on. So she gave birth to me, and then she tried to kill me. But what she didn't know was that we don't die so easily. In fact, we heal very quickly. I'm going to start from here. And there is only one way to kill our kind. But she didn't know that. No one did at that time. He pulls her in close, and it is as if he is talking to himself. She left me to die, but I didn't. There is a moment of awkward silence, and then he breaks it. Azrael punished her fairly for what she did and hung her shortly thereafter in the city square. As a warning to the others, I will show you one of these days if you would like. His voice is calm and collected, and it creeps Bonnie out. How do you know all of this? I mean, you were just a baby, she asked. Remember, I just wanted to reiterate this. We remember everything from the moment we are born, just like you. He catches himself and wants to change the subject. That's why I keep telling y'all about the X chromosome. Y'all need to look into it, why they capped the two ends off and they put this worship gene. They said looking for the God gene, which is pure bullshit. Okay. In my own opinion, I'm alleging. I am sorry, she must have not seen any other way out. She touches his face and kisses him gently. Now, will you tell me why they chose to conquer us? Why us and not another race? No, I can't, Bonnie. You are not my equal, and you just can't know these things. He gives her a soft kiss, but his lips barely touch her skin. I am sorry. Now, it's a little simps when they lay down the stroke, and then you don't want to. Some women, a little more. I don't like the word tomboyish. More assertive in their form, which is respected. And they don't need all that coddling. You hit it, get pump the seed, all right, let me cook. Make sure your belly's full. All that hugged up shit is all right, but anyway, she is disappointed. She doesn't hide it, but accepts what he tells her. I'll get some people rolling with that. Tells her calmly. He holds her tight in his arms and lets her fall asleep while he wonders why she healed the way she did. It bothers him, even scares him, because it is not natural. He will be visiting with Azrael later this month and will ask him about it then. Things carry on as normal, and she enjoys her reading lessons and his company a lot more. He makes an effort to not be as controlling, and she appreciates it. It is Sunday, late afternoon, and she is asleep. On the bed, he looks over at her, and he starts to pack his things for his trip to New York to visit his father. Something is bothering him, though. He isn't sure what it is, but he doesn't like the thought of leaving. Calm down. There's no lights. Oh my God. He's going through that episode. Leaving her behind, and he decides to take her with him. Last minute. She is excited. She has always wanted to see more of the country, and this will finally give her the opportunity to do so. Malcolm is happy that she agreed to come with him, and it puts his mind at ease. He didn't even have to convince her. She jumped at the opportunity to come with him. He tells her this is a work trip and mentions nothing about Azrael. She can't know, and remember that name, Azrael? Azrael? Enoch? Anyway, she can't know anything about him. It would be the death of her and him. She can't know who he is. No one can. Men like him stay hidden. That is how they want it. They control others, and their hands never get dirty. When things go wrong, there will always be someone to take the blame. Money can buy you that kind of power. Azrael owns, or at least co-owns, all the press, the banks, and even the farms. No one truly owns anything in reality, but they just think they do. That is the beauty of the tax system he created. The humans work for a living wage, but pay 50% of it to the state through taxes. They think it is fair and don't question it. They are taught to accept many things from the age of 3 years old. Why would they question anything? Azrael is an ugly being. All heaven bearers are clumsy looking creatures, but he is by far the ugliest of them all. Once they choose a host country, they take on the host form, in this case, the Tartarian form. They can never match the Tartarians' true beauty or elegance, no matter how hard they try, nor can they achieve the pure blonde hair and blue eyes. But they are cunning, evil, and devious, which makes them smarter than a Tartarian. They hate anything good, pure, and perfect. And their biggest satisfaction was having the Tartarian women bear their mongrel children and pollute their pure bloodlines. They didn't expect to create another perfect, yet subservient, master race on equal footing to the Tartarians. She wrote that. A white, black, black, white. Anybody y'all in that crayon color shit? Yeah, okay. I love this. Yes, here we go. Awesome. Let me make sure I give you all that information. Remember I told y'all to look up this. I'm gonna give it to you one more time. I'm gonna let y'all get a pen or something. I want y'all to write this down, please. Go and get a pen or something. Get a phone or something. Do something. I gotta eat some vegetables, y'all. I'm hungry, y'all. And this food sitting at me, looking at me. Oh my God, that's good. Oh, spicy. Oh, spicy. I busted a nut. You ready? Old Chicago City Hall can be found here. I'm gonna give you the whole Earl. Yeah, bit my lip. It's so good. Red pepper. Oh, and the cabbage and onion. Oh. And I put gluten-free, 50% less sodium. I don't care about gluten. But that soy sauce is banging right there. Okay. HTTPS // Chicago CHICAG Chicagology CHICAGOLOGY period .com or .com / golden age, and that's one word, GOLDENAGE / golden age 126 / I looked it up. I ain't showing you. Look it up. Pretty freaking awesome. So we're down at exhibition confronts, the exhibition construction, 1891, 1893. Piece of broccoli, a stem. Got it. That was good. Anyway, in 1890, United States politicians wanted to hold a fair to better the one that had concluded in Paris the previous year. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Exposing Expositions, 1851-1950, revised 2021 by Howdy Mikowski. Excellent friggin' book. They came here and changed the heads and the faces and the statues, but the Pelskins who were here were considered black. They were melanated, just like everywhere else. But something else happened, y'all. So we're getting to that another time in another book. Let's just keep the focus. Okay, anyway, hold the fair to better the one that had concluded in Paris the previous year. The new fair was to show the world the rise of America and that it had become, according to John Finley, the apex of world civilizations. In parentheses, for example, the new Roman Empire. And I told you we had colosseums and things here that rivaled Rome 100-fold. Finley, the apex of world civilization, blah, blah, the Roman Empire, in parentheses, and they chose to honor and celebrate Christopher Columbus. They chose to honor and celebrate Christopher Columbus. The myth of the Spanish guy selling in 1492, the myth of the Spanish guy, they taught it in schools knowing it, selling in 1492 to discover the New World was a key part of the exposition presentations and of historical teaching at this time. But can one claim to discover a land that has perhaps 40 million native people already living there? Well over 500 of us. Yes, claim to discover land that has over 40 million native people already living there. Within 300 years, almost all of those natives in North and South America were killed or turned into slaves by Spaniards. The Mongolians and Mongols weren't slaves. All the so-called Chinese slave trade was real, but they even look different from these mugs now. These motherfuckers participated in it. French and British Americans, slaves by the Spaniards, French and British / Americans. What Christopher Columbus represents is not discovery, but in fact an armed assault on a continent by Europe. The question is, which myth of Columbus were the exposition organizers really attempted to present? The outward tale of European discovery, of European colonialism and slaughter. Remember, Christopher Columbus was a Negro. Abe Lincoln, a Negro. Who was the British king? The real one. Many U.S. cities lobbied to hold the fair, but it came down to the two largest, Chicago and New York. There was supposed to be a rather nasty backroom fight about it between big Chicago businessmen such as Charles H. Schwab, Chicago Railroad Baron John Whitfield Bunn, who had Abraham Lincoln, in parentheses, who had Abraham Lincoln as his attorney prior to the Civil War, end of parentheses, and Chicago banker Lyman Gage, look these motherfuckers up, who battled New York's big money magnates J.P. Morgan, Cornelius Vanderbilt, and William Waldorf Astor. The Waldorf Astoria, that's a Tartarian building. I've been in there 3 times. The Chicago group won out. One of the main selling points for the Chicago group was presenting the way the city had risen from the ashes of the Great Fire of 1871, thus embarking the symbolism of the Egyptian phoenix. The symbol also represented the United States as they were the new great civilization rising from the ashes of the previous primitive societies that they had conquered. This is the narrative painted, people. That's all. Okay? Pay attention. These fairs were going to be the elite's way to let the world know it, or at least make the average American believe it. The first problem was where to hold the exposition in Chicago. Many wanted it to be on the prairie outskirts with lots of land, while others protested that the prairie landscape was too dull for a fair. And Frederick Law Olmsted, the man who set the design for New York's Central Park and the landscaping of the George Washington Masonic National Memorial Grounds, right on our damn ancestors' burial grounds, y'all, was the one, check it out, was the one brought in to finalize a site. He chose Jackson Park. Jackson Park. At the time, the area was considered a swamp on the lakeshore. The architect firm Bunham and Root was given the contract to design the fair itself. However, just 1 year after winning the contract, John Root died. John Root. died, leaving Daniel Burnham to be the sole architect of the firm, for the firm. In parentheses, whose name of Root was quickly removed. End. Wow. And also the fair. It is odd that Root died only 5 days after the first main architect meeting in January 1891. Was it simply coincidence? Even more odd was that partner of Olmsted, Henry Sergeant Codman, would die 2 years later on January 13, 1893. Why? They were probably Negroes. At the age of 28, as the result of an operation for an appendicitis attack. You can look at the image of Burnham and Root from 1890 by going to, you want the Earl? Y'all probably ain't writing down crap. Well, anyway, you know what? I might go ahead and pull these down, and I'm gonna start reading right here. I might go ahead and pull these down and do a little a post. Okay, so I'll probably pull down this one, which is a very long one too, mind you. It's about 2 times as many of the alphabet, and the other one, which is about the alphabet itself. Okay, it's right at the bottom here, at the very, very bottom. That Earl, and then look at this Earl. I'm not gonna sit here and read that. Y'all be like some afflicted. I was talking about my grandma, right? Bellevue Crazy and Mountainside and all that, right? That's how y'all be acting if I read all that. So I'm not gonna read all that. I'll pull them up. I'll find the pictures and everything. I'll go ahead and download them on my computer, and then I'll make a post from there and put up. Right now, is any of y'all's laptops and computers doing a lot of downloading over the last 2 weeks? Like, what in the flying frig is going on, man? I ain't seen this much. And I've had that laptop right there. I bought that laptop, not the new skinny one upstairs. That's a flat one. I bought that when I was my last college or what? I bought that laptop 2011. Yeah, Pentel, 2011, y'all. 11 years, well, 12 years ago now. It's a champ, though. I think they're trying to pervert it. But anyway, I got a lot of things on. I had to take some things and put them on memory cards and erase it off because I just knew when to do it. Like a terabyte of information. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and download all that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and look and see who's in the house, give some shout outs. Man, love and respect to all of you. So we're going to stay on it. Yeah, I had to put a punishment out there. And maybe some more people come. Inform those who you know who will subscribe that they need to go and check the notification, because when they did I read all of it. A lot of them have to go back and not subscribe, but hit the notification bell because they're removed. I mean, completely. Like, it's empty. There's not even little things on the side. All right. So that because I know somebody's hit me. I'm just like, yo, man, how come you ain't doing it? I said, yes, I am. Did you go over there and look before you start? Hold on. Oh, I was like, yeah, hit the notification bell, bro. I'm like, look first. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not beating nobody up. I'm just saying. You see what I'm saying? We're a little lethargic, narcissistic, ego-driven. The ego is destruction of all things. All right? That's why you must destroy it. All right? Because you will never be able to elevate yourself with an ego. You'll never be able to make it through pain if you ascertain and always stuck in the misery of your life. You're the director. You're the first responder. You're the healer. Regardless of what you got to do, you must first know that. All right? So I'm going to give a shout out. Hello, man. Y'all all up in here. Okay. My love, my brothers and sisters. Rondo, what's going on, family? Yeah. Mama Red, what's going on, mama? Ha. ABJR, what's cracking? I didn't know. Sean Q, what it do, fam? I haven't heard that said in a long time. Ooh, it was good. I'm trying to tell you. What's going on? But side, what's cracking, fam? Patrick Gable, yo, it's good to see you in the house, man. What's going on? All the beloved ones. Where he said that his great aunt have documents when they come off them boats. God, where he said his great aunt have documents when they came off the boat, man. Oh, wow. Oh, you talking about Pels? Okay. Yeah, a lot of them do. I met some in Florida, man. Over in the Keys, man. Well, because that ain't the Gulf of Mexico, y'all. Y'all know that, right? That's not the name of that place. That's the Choctaw River Lake. I'm Chickasaw of the Choctaw. My pops used to say, Cause I say, hey, my pop, I want to go down to Texas and visit some of my cousin, and I want to check out the Gulf of Mexico. I'm gonna go. He said, he pat me on my forehead. I was like, what the hell? I'm in high school. He's talking about that ain't the Gulf, man. That's named after our people, man. I was like, cool, can I tell him? I ain't know. Real talk. Great Wolf, what's cracking, brother? Well, you know what? Yeah, let's think the cataclysm on not, you dig what I'm saying? I like that though. Good thinking, but we gotta clean up the stinking. And that's not a bad thing. It means we gotta mitigate we have power. This is what we do. It speaks volumes. Do you know that when you speak, it's a vibration and it makes those without it nervous? That's why you see them react the way they're doing, so hostile. But you need to know how to focus and control it. You dig? Equator 7, what's going on? What's cracking? What's cracking? We shouldn't even worry about why. The perfect pure TM, what's cracking? What's going on, fam? Yeah, that's a good question though. Why do they do that? That's a real question. You know what I'm saying? That's a solid question. Asked by Shaw Q. It's easy for me to say we shouldn't even worry about it. We should focus on what we need to do. But they do it because we know that our people, like when I stated, like how we, there was a time our people wasn't committing no suicide like that, man. Not at all. I remember them years. I was always reading papers, watching the news, talking to people all around, Denver, Texas, all these different places, man. I was talking to cats my age, like, on the phone. Yo, what's up, Charlie? How y'all? We out in California. I know what's going on. Oh, man, it's crazy. It's gravy over here. I love it. Oh, yeah. I said, you sounded weird already, nigga. Anyway, peace. Well, this bum on text. Hey, what's going on, lad? How you doing? Yeah, this is the gym. Okay. Yeah. Nighttime out in the back. Okay. All right. I don't know. He back probably there drinking some of that hooch. Paw, yeah. Nana, she upstairs. All right. I was a little young jet, I call everybody I could call. Mom used to be like, stop calling them, all them people. I said, oh, yes, ma'am. You won't get no chitlins of cornbread and nothing, collard green. Yes, ma'am. I want pork chop instead. That was the breaking time, you know what I'm saying? But why do they do it? Because chemical lobotomy. It's affecting everybody though. When it was just centralized to keep people in the dynamics of their structure of what they believe after they've been groomed and raised or reared in the lives they live. Now it affects our people because our people have been cut off from their actual diets. How many of y'all buying Jiffy pop? What's that that cornbread, that Jiffy cornbread? How many of y'all buying that? I want to know, be honest right now. Put one up if you buy Jiffy cornbread. I just want to know, I'm serious. I know a lot of people don't take the time to grow some organic corn like I grew with all them colors, dry it in the sun, and grind it when it's half soft, not fully dried out. You gotta mash it and then dry it in the oven. That's how we used to dry it. And then we take that and get the hot water and we get the cane, the cane sugar stuff you can buy in the can. You can buy them cans. I think the cream's over here, but okay, Sean Key, you know what I'm saying? You buy it, okay. Who else? Come on, be honest. Put a 1. It ain't hard. Put 1, push enter. Come on, put 1. Who buys Jiffy cornbread? There's nothing wrong with you saying yes, you do. Stop being so lazy. Come on, man. Mama has to dress up like a trans with a breast and butt pads and walk around, hold my hand out and get $5,000 in dollars from a bunch of goofs. God, y'all, man. Come on, man. Y'all know I'm not. Look, man, I got $7,000 in the bank. Well, I got a few. I keep I'm dead all the time. But let me tell you something. I'm not gonna buy all these books to be reading to y'all. Y'all help me. This is what's the name? Rip Floyd. She's at work right now, and Shot to Hire sent me this last. And Ronald and all them sent me too. At 55, it's not gonna go nowhere until when I get enough to get the books. Then I'll go ahead and bring it into my empty. I don't like telling people my accounts because them motherfucking hacks and shit be looking. I put it over there just strictly for purchasing books It's something I set up so that way while I'm doing this, and I had to use because I didn't donate and get no land together, so I had to use the other account just to put that in just to purchase books. So anyhow, that's my boy. I gotta give him this. All right. Anywho, how many people put up one? I used to tell I clown. Oh, okay, perfect. All right. So we got two people that's being honest right now. Mama Red, you got all them children. I know you making that jiffy goddamn cornbread. Don't come with that. I'm country. I get the cornmeal, and then I don't want to hear that. Organic. I don't want to hear it. Put a one up in there, people. Stop lying. Knock a sense thing. Like a fart 100 miles away. Which one of y'all did fart? Now listen. The reason why I'm saying this, right? Stovetop stuffing. We stopped eating that when I got in the military. I knew that had all that crap in there. When I saw the annual stuff, I was like, well, that's butt juice they use for that. And then when you're cooking it, you think you're eating stuffing because you've been groomed to believe that's what it smells like. No, man. If you get some regular bread you bake yourself and you chop it up and you toast it in the oven, right? And you get some giblets and some gizzards and chop it up with some turkey necks. Or you get the skin for those like the mass boil, like about 20. I'm like, I used to doing this like string cheese, but the turkey neck, you get and just chop it all up. And we used to put all the giblets, come in the bags and put it all in there with them bread, like 4 different black. We had the dark rye, the regular rye, the pumpernickel. We had, you know what I'm saying? We put it all up in there, and then we made the gravy with the roux off the turkey. You know what I'm saying? You base the turkeys down, you get that roux. You know what I mean? With the seasonings and the basil and everything, and the rosemary you pop in there too, right? You scoop it up in there with the lid on like that. So you got the base going, right? You hit it with a little more cracked pepper and salt. You pop it in the oven, bam, you got real stuffing. It don't have no anus juices up in there. Jiffy got soy and I know we used to make hot water cornbread after we ground on all them corns with some of that cane sugar, and that was all we used. And a little salt. Salt flakes used to be, we didn't mess with that. Mama said, you mess with that more, and everybody had high blood pressure in here. That slag off the metal when your grandpappy and them would work. Oh, I didn't know that. Never mess with Morton salt, y'all. This is not salt. So anyway, that's all we made cornbread with, hot water cornbread. Y'all put it in an iron pan. It's already seasoned, so you got the flavors in there. And you pop it in the oven. Boom. Corn whole cake. Real wheat, all the grain and germ and everything. And water from behind the house in the stream coming off the Mississippi. People. Yeah. I was taught when I was very young from scratch. Thank you very much. Okay, you ain't got to be all finna to do this. I definitely finished with that Chippy for sure. Passes on the money. Yes, leave that crap alone. That's making boys want to be girls. And girls so confused they think they got a penis. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, right? They think they can hump. No, you know what I'm saying. It's messing people up. No, I was hoping Mama Red, you knew how to make some cornbread. You know what I mean? Anyway, right? Anyway, and it's so much more. You know what I mean? It's messed everybody up. And then everybody's, look, I'm driving, right? I'm going to the range. I'm going to stop at the indoor gun range, or I'm stopping at the gas station. And I'm just looking at the lines at the Burger Kill. I'm looking at, oh, thank goodness they don't have no Crystal White Castles here, because they'd make billions just here alone. So I see the Subway, and I'm like, oh, there goes some new Jared employees. And then I'm looking over, and they McDeath and the Taco Hell. Thank goodness there's no Chick-fil-A. And then they go into Sonic Boom. Gotcha. Hotcha, gotcha, Sonic Boom. Stop it. That's why, I be telling them, like, how y'all, wait. And I'm driving this, nothing but, I feel like a tourist where I live at. I want to get the camera out. Benny Hill, all these mother. You know what I'm saying? Let the engine come out for real. But I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it. I don't mess with them. I just tip my hat. You're gonna be messed up next week. Good seeing you too. That's what I do. I go, Hi, man. You made it to 90, so whatever happened to you don't matter. Oh, you 65, but you need to put that leader. I know somebody bought that for you because you be in the park all day. That's what I'm doing. 'Cause it's like I feel like a tourist driving where I live at. That's like everybody's a neon damn billboard sign. You know the movie They Live, Roddy Dangerfield, right? Piper, excuse me, Dangerfield. Roddy Piper, right? It's like I got shades on and I'm just looking at a whole bunch of skulls walking everywhere, man. Yeah, hot water cornbread. Y'all know how to do that? But that's some real good eating right there. Them children will, hey, listen, them children be on each one of your legs. You won't never be able, you won't even be able to wear flip-flop or nothing. The children dragging along and their clothes will be the bottom of your soles on your feet because they just will be stuck on your leg with the hot water cornbread. You gotta put molasses. If you don't have, that's right. If you don't have the cane sugar, we used to get the big can with the 3-4 canes in there, and mom had to expel it. She put that and roll it through there and get more of the cane juice out. And the cane juice that was in there, she put that in the make big old thin cornbread and with a little bit of salt with the mashed corn. And the cornbread wasn't yellow. Y'all know about that, right? It was like, it looked kind of white, like, because you grind it all down, so it's the meat. Y'all know about that? But anyway, the other way was with honey and molasses. That's how we make cornbread, with 3 to 4 ingredients. I was looking at the Jiffy. I was like, man, I can make me some cornbread and have me some bean chili with 5 bean chili. You know what I'm saying? It was a paragraph that damn long. I said, oh man, y'all got me messed up. And you know who owned Jiffy, right? And they want to call you crazy. You know, he was allowed to tell you some tea before they get rid of his avatar. I ain't say it. Anyway, hour and 26 minutes. Let me get up off of here. I don't want to make y'all laugh a little bit. All right. Look, man. Look, I ain't gonna entertain you saying that, because you know damn sure is. I gotta get my saddle out. Bring your ass over here. Oh, I said go ride horseback riding. Let me go over here and take care of this. All right, y'all. So I gotta go see my boys back from Grenada. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, love y'all. For the ladies that came in, or lady, gents, all right. So later on, possibility, and tomorrow definitely. Okay. Y'all have a grand day.